Say hello to the people of Australia. Starting an international incident. Starting this video off great. How we doing, Perthians, Perthenites? Can you tell I did no research and I'm just winging this? I like these kind of things because I'll hit record and just start talking, and then when it's over, my brain goes, I would have never thought of that. Hello, everyone. My name is Newt Wallen. I am the co-writer, the producer, and the actor, but I don't think there's enough sarcastic quotations to go around for that one, of the film that you're about to see, Swamp Zombies 2, directed by, starring Len Kabaczynski of Killer Wolf Films. And yeah, hey, I'm like super mega excited that this film is out there and that it's playing in the land down under, which is still bizarre to me. I grew up so I'm 43 years old, so I was alive in that perfect era where like Australian things were like really popular in America. You know, I made my parents take me to go see the Yahoo Serious movie, but I grew up, you know, with Ozploitation films. Literally just talking about Stone and Chain Reaction the other night at work. But yeah, so way back in 2016, I was Facebook friends with I'm still Facebook friends with director Len Kabaczynski, and we were kind of going back and forth about some ideas for some movies and stuff like that. And I was very much at a crossroads in my life. I went to film school. I wasn't very successful there. I was part of different YouTube shows over the years, but nothing really ever took off. And I had a lot of friends who were kind of losing faith that I could ever produce a film. So this movie really came about as a, not a goof, but like as a, oh crap, if I want to keep people in my life, I kind of need to figure out how to make a movie real fast. So the fact that we made a movie real fast and that it's playing in Australia tonight for you people still kind of blows my hair back a little bit. The cat knocked the tripod over and then work called. It was a whole thing. All right, so level of professionalism aside, what is Swamp Zombies 2? $4,500 and a whole bunch of weekends over a 6-month period. Enjoy the movie. Yeah, so what it all comes down to is Len Kabaczynski and I had decided to make a sequel to Swamp Zombies. And I kind of wanted to do the anti-sequel. You'll notice that there's a lot of Escape from New York in this. There's a lot of RoboCop in this. There's a lot of Gremlins 2 in this. I wanted to make the anti-sequel. And I don't know, I think we succeeded to a degree. I think for like the fact that we had no money, the fact that we were doing this like, you know, we one day and then coming back 2 months later and then doing 2 days and then back one day and just like trying to piece it all together. We had actors who I wrote it for who agreed to be in it and then never showed up, so we had to throw people in on the fly. We had locations fall out. You know, the Len Kabaczynski is kind of pretty much well known for Red Letter Media, if you know those YouTube guys, the Mr. Plinkett guys. And he had put out on the Reddit for Red Letter Media, hey, I'm going to be shooting this movie in Philadelphia, and our camera guy didn't show up. So a fan of Len's came and wound up being our camera guy. And then the same thing, our editor bailed. So one of the actresses in the movie, who was also a fan of his stuff, became the editor. It's like Little Rascals, let's put on a show kind of thing. That's how easy it is to get in a Newt Wallen movie. Just show up. But yeah, you know, the opening had to be redone. The ending had to be redone. The third act was basically rewritten on the day shooting. The cool thing is this movie is actually tied to Terrifier 2, if you've ever saw that movie. The friend of mine was the prop builder for a place called the Fright Factory in Philadelphia. There's a big haunted attraction, and during the non-Halloween seasons, it just sits there empty. So I made a deal with him where I could shoot there, and a lot of our props we left behind, and Damien Leone, the director, writer of Terrifier movies, the Art the Clown movies, he's friends with one of the actresses who I work with a lot. And he's like, oh, I need this location in Philadelphia. And I was like, well, I got these guys. So they shot Terrifier 2 after we were done with Swamp Zombies 2, and a lot of the same props are all in the background. So when you go back and you rewatch Terrifier 2, or you watch Terrifier 2, then you rewatch Swamp Zombies. Please rewatch it a lot. Buy it, you know. But yeah, so it's cool to have that weird connection. Which movie is better is up to you. It's the eye of the beholder. But yeah, I don't know. It was cool to throw this together. It was very stressful to throw this thing together. We didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough people. It was kind of just anybody who I could draft into this silly project. You know, that all the stuff that we shot in Philadelphia, and then all the stuff that we shot in southern New Jersey at this big summer camp that my friend owned. So it was a lot of just locations that we got for free. And it was a lot of ex-girlfriends. My ex-fiance was the lead makeup girl, and my ex, who now ex was my girlfriend at the time, is the actress who I act with in the thing. And again, I was literally making this movie, A, because Len wanted to, which I thought was kind of cool. And I worked a whole bunch of crazy hours. I ran a movie theater, and I still run a movie theater, just not that movie theater anymore. And I was working all these crazy hours, and all these people were like, I don't know if we're ever going to actually get a chance to make a movie, and people were moving on with their lives and all this kind of stuff. So I literally talked Len Kabaczynski into letting me make a sequel to his movie Swamp Zombies as an excuse so I can spend time with friends that were moving on and to impress a girl that I was seeing at the time. So when you look at the movie from that point of view, you're like, oh, this is brilliant. If you look at it from any other point of view, you're like, this is a piece of shit. What am I doing wasting my night? But either way, I'm proud of it. You know, we had a big premiere, and we sold out the premiere. It was like over 150 people there, and my dad came and told me he was proud of it. He's like, you were really funny, and there's tits in it. That's all you can need, you know, right? And yeah, I wrote all myself all the best lines because I'm a sociopath like that. And my one action scene in the movie was a fight just to have it with Len. He and I didn't really see eye to eye once we started getting filming, because I think I leaned it a little bit too far into comedy, and then I got righteously indignant over it but then I was like, wait, this isn't my movie. Like, yeah, I'm paying for it and I'm putting all these pieces together, but it's this dude's flick and this dude's fan base that's all, you know, the people for it. So I learned how to humble myself on that set. Don't I look humble? Yes, it was an interesting movie, and it's cool that people still talk about it. It's cool that, like, you know, I used to be on another YouTube show that was kind of popular, and people used to send me copies to sign, and you know, and people have told me they've seen it. I was staying at a hotel in Washington, D.C., and this guy told me that I looked familiar, and I was like, oh, I used to do YouTube and yada yada. He's like, no, you were in a zombie movie, and sure enough, the fucking overnight auditor had seen Swamp Zombies 2, which was so bizarre and gave me like a giant ego for the rest of the night. The young lady I was with, I was like, oh, see, didn't know you were in the company of royalty. Garbage movie royalty. But no, I'm proud of it, and it's cool that, you know, the people of Perth asked for it to come and screen for you guys tonight, and I hope it translates. I don't know, you know, how well it'll translate, but yeah, it was a little silly, no budget movie that we held together with tape and spit and chewing gum to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, because it got to a point in the movie where I didn't even know if we were going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But through sheer moxie, we made it happen, and you know, the people who still talk to me, who were part of this movie, they're still proud of it, and I'm proud of it. It was my first time making a feature, and I've done a couple since then. But it was trial by fire, really. It was a chance to kind of to prove myself, keeping all of these different facets together, so that we can keep rolling and you know, keep figuring out, oh, okay, we need this much money, so I had to work X amount of hours to make sure that I could pay my own personal bills, but also get people down from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia so that we could finish the movie and have the special effects and stuff like that. And like I said, we were just making shit up as we went. By the time we got to the third act, we were just coming up with gags based on props that we had laying around, because certain people didn't want to shoot things the way they were written, and I was pulling my hair out of my head, but we did it. And I was lucky enough to have, you know, the Fright Factory, to have the summer camp, and then to have the very cool special effects. The Sci-Fi Lab is my studio that I shoot at. So we had that set built for another project that I was working on at that time called Planet Frankenstein. So we just kind of, like, you know, ramshackled everything together, and we brought in a collaborator I used to work with a lot, is an American horror host named Mr. Lobo. Has a pretty good following. I haven't talked to him in a while. And then another actress who's in those scenes is Mel Heflin, who you might know from a lot of the Mark Polonia movies. If you're a fan of the Polonias, they do a lot of stuff through, like, Wild Eye Releasing, which is, you know, a bigger Z-grade movie distribution company. But yeah, we were able to just put a bunch of people together and make this weird Swamp Zombies 2, which, you know, I wrote it to be a lot smarter than it turned out to be, but it's got some good laughs in it. It's got some messy kills in it. I got to live out, you know, my Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell moment of getting sprayed down with blood and getting to kiss a really attractive girl and spend time with my friends and make a movie that is now screening in Australia. So, you know, sorry, Australia. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. You know, I'd like to say I really enjoyed making it, but I've enjoyed talking about it, and I've enjoyed sharing it with people and all the backstories and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, enjoy Len Kabaczynski's Swamp Zombies 2.